Dear Christopher, here is your friend Thomas the Tank Engine. He wanted to come out of his station yard and see the world. These stories tell you how he did it. I hope you will like them, because you helped me to make them. Your loving, Daddy.
It's been half an hour. How much longer will he take? Percy asked his driver crossly. He had to pick up Thomas's passengers to bring them to Tidmouth, but he was running late. Just give him some time, soothed Emily. I'm sure he'll be here soon. Just then, Thomas pulled into the station. He was out of puff. About time, huffed Percy. Sorry, Percy. I have so many passengers in the winter. I can't help it. There's more parcels in the winter, too, but you don't see me being 30 minutes late. Percy's signal turned to green, and he steamed away crossly. Later at the sheds, the two were still arguing. James and Gordon, seeing an opportunity for trouble, quickly jumped in.
You know, Percy, Gordon said, I'm sure your work must be easier than Thomas's, seeing as he was obviously working harder than you.
Perhaps Thomas is just being lazy, added James, but I suppose we'll never know.
Unless, of course, you two switch jobs.
Yeah, then you both can find out who really has the harder jobs. You know what? Huffed Thomas. They're right. I bet you wouldn't be able to last one night pulling my passenger train. Oh yeah, well, you'll never be able to finish pulling my mail train on time.
It's settled then, Gordon puffed. Tonight, you two will switch trains, and then we'll find out who really has the more difficult work.
You're on! Later, Thomas arrived at the mail depot to collect Percy's mail train.
Hello, Thomas. Haven't seen you around here in a while. What's up?
Me and Percy are swapping jobs for the night to see who has the more difficult work. Sounds like fun, laughed the post office manager. Just bear in mind, it looks like it's going to start raining soon. Nothing can slow me down, especially a bit of water, said Thomas, and he steamed away. Meanwhile, Percy arrived at the station. Piece of cake, he huffed. Presently, Harold whooshed in.
Big clouds rolling in, Percy. Looks like a rainstorm is on its way.
No need to worry, Harold. Unlike you whirlybird things, we tank engines are made to take on this sort of weather. Anyway, I must be off. Goodbye. As Thomas was making his way through the countryside, he noticed that the post office manager was right.
We should probably take it slower, Thomas. Who knows how slippery the rails will get?
No worries, Thomas assured. I'll keep my eyes on the track. I'm sure we'll be all right. On the other side of the island, Percy had to stop at a signal. Henry was there.
Wow, I see you really followed through.
What?
James and Gordon told me all about the switch with Thomas. You do know that the busiest time of year for passengers is winter, right? This made Percy cross. Pa, I'm way more capable of pulling a simple passenger train like this. Thank you very much. But Percy, all I'm saying is... Sorry, Henry. Must go. See you later. Oh, dear. Thomas arrived at his first stop of the night. This is Percy's work? Seems more like a pastime hobby to me. Toby was in a nearby shed. Hey, Thomas, what are you doing here? Proving that Percy's work is miles easier than mine, that's what. Fair enough, but you do know that. I know, Toby. The tracks will be slippery, yeah. Don't worry, I can do this. If you say so, Thomas. Just take care. Will do. And Thomas left. The rain was falling hard, and Percy's wheels weren't gripping to the tracks with all the rain. Oh dear, not the hill.
Percy, take it easy.
No, driver, full throttle. I must make it up this hill.
And with all his puff, he puffed up the track. His wheels were pounding the rails.
More power!
He called. But all of a sudden, Percy's cylinder snapped, and he slipped all the way to the bottom of the hill. He felt very silly. That's done it, said the driver. We're going to have to call for help. Just then, they heard a familiar whistle.
Oh no, it's Thomas. He's going to laugh at me. Percy, what's wrong?
Puffed Thomas.
I burst my cylinder trying to get up the hill. Don't worry, I'll push you.
Percy was surprised.
You're not going to laugh at me? Of course not,
Thomas said.
Before anything, you're my best friend. I care more about your safety than some silly competition.
Percy smiled.
Thank you, Thomas. But won't you be late? The post office at Wellsworth is closed till tomorrow, so my last stop is at Knapford. As long as we hurry, I can bring you to Knapford and get help from Sir Topham Hatt and drop off the rest of my parcels, but we must get going.
And Thomas quickly coupled up to the back of Percy, and the two headed up the hill. Eventually, the two arrived at Knapford.
Sir Topham Hatt was waiting.
Thomas was exhausted.
Thank you, Thomas. Of course. And you're right, Percy. Your work is hard. If Wellsworth wasn't closed, I would have been ages behind.
Though I'm not fond of your stunts you two pulled, I am quite pleased with the determination you two delivered tonight. Percy, Edward will be here soon to take you to the works to be mended, and James will take your passengers to their final stop.
Thank you, sir.
The two engines smiled. Even in hard times, they knew they could rely on each other.
James, Diesel, and Percy all want to go to the washdown, but Emily is blocking their way. She will have to move before any of them can get there. Who do you think will get to the washdown first? Here comes James. What will he do to get Emily to move? He's blowing his whistle at her as loudly as he can. That's not very kind. Emily doesn't move, so James can't get to the washdown. Here comes Diesel. What do you think he will try to get Emily to move? Diesel is trying to shunt Emily out of the way. That's not very kind at all, and Emily has put her brakes on even harder, so it isn't working. Diesel can't get to the washdown either. Here comes Percy. What do you think he will do? Percy isn't blowing his whistle, or trying to shunt Emily out of the way. He's asking her kindly. Do you mind moving, please, Emily? It worked. Emily is moving into the sidings, and Percy will be the first to get to the washdown, all because he asked kindly.